Look like we set up. Contender regime boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? What's happening? You know, we gonna chop it up, man. We got Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios tonight. Keith Thurman is making his long-awaited return to the sport. You dig what I'm saying? Kind of want to chop it up with y'all, man, and see what y'all expectations are for Keith Thurman in this fight. What are you expecting? You know, what type of performance you expecting from Keith Thurman? You dig what I'm saying? And where you expect Keith Thurman to take this from here. You know, it's a lot of possibilities and opportunities that can come from this, depending on how he performs. Salute to the brother Kevin Brower in the building. What's good, my boy? Appreciate you for pulling up. You know what I'm saying? Stephen Pamphile in the building. What's good with you, my brother? Salute to you. You know. But yeah, I want to chop it up with y'all, man, and just kind of see how y'all feeling. I put the poll up yesterday in regard to for the Keith Thurman and Mario Barrios fight. Of course, it's no surprise that most of the votes were for Keith Thurman either by KO or by decision, but there were quite a few people that voted for Mario Barrios to win this fight. So, I mean, it was more a bigger percentage than I would have expected. So, you know, some people feel like this shit could really be an upset. Salute to the brother Hybrid 2 in the building. Think there's 2-5 us in the building. Salute, my brother. What's good? Shout out to my brother Knockout Boxing 86 TV in the building, man. What's good? One of the best boxing channels on YouTube. Appreciate you for pulling up, my boy. Said I had Keith by decision. The weigh-in made me change my pick. Keith by stoppage, round 6 to 8. Yeah, hey, you know what? When I saw the weigh-in, I was really blown away. I'm like, bro, I never seen Keith Thurman that cut up. I mean, he looked like he really took this camp serious. You know, I think in a long, and this is just going off of the shape that I seen him in, he might be healthy for the first time in a long time. Because him looking like that let me know that it wasn't really anything holding him back in camp, getting in shape, putting the work in. You know what I'm saying? Looked like he had a great diet, just a good game plan leading up to this fight and just to get ready for this fight. So I'm hoping that all of that is true and that we get, a healthy Keith Thurman, you know what I'm saying? And we get to see Keith Thurman at his best. I'm really interested to see if that fire and desire is still there. That's the biggest thing for me. I just want to see the intensity. I want to see, is Keith Thurman still that same guy that we knew, 3, 4, 5 years ago? Of course he's older now. I would assume that he's grown mentally. His ring IQ. He's always been a very intelligent guy. You can hear that when you hear him talk about boxing, and so he knows what he's doing in there. But I would expect for even that to have grown with age and experience. You dig what I'm saying? And maturity and shit like that. So I want to see if the physicality is still there. Is he still aggressive? Is he still hungry? What's the hand speed like? I mean, he's not an old guy. He's 33. He's younger than Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? And he's had a significant amount of time off. So, I expect Keith Thurman to be well rested and ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the brother Mike Rhyme in the building. What's good with you, my boy? Appreciate you for pulling up. Shout out to the OG Mr. Munt in the building. What's good? What's good? You know. But what are y'all expecting to see out of Keith Thurman? You know what I'm saying? What are y'all expecting? Are y'all expecting the Keith Thurman that showed up versus Josecito Lopez right before the Manny Pacquiao fight? Remember that Keith Thurman, the fact that he was on a layoff, it was very obvious in that fight. He didn't look very sharp. He did get hurt in that fight, which I don't really know if you can put that on a layoff. I mean, you can get hurt in any fight, but he just didn't look as sharp, and he didn't look very hungry. He didn't look like he was ready for that matchup, you know. And Josito Lopez had more success in that fight than I thought he should have. Said off topic, why Clarissa and Marshall in each other's face talking big shit to each other. Uh, man, I want to see that fight. I want to see Clarissa and Savannah Marshall. They got to go ahead and make that happen. You know what I'm saying? You know I'm riding with the GOAT. Big facts. You know what I'm saying? That lady that she fight tonight, she gonna destroy her. You know, just a little tune up fight. Inevitable 8 in the building. What's good? Said the Thurman that fought Pac-Man washes Barrios. That's an interesting perspective. I thought Thurman was good in that fight. Well, at least the latter part of the fight. He started off a little shaky. But even then, you know, even when he started the box Manny Pacquiao in the, you know, between rounds 5 on up, I still thought he could have been more aggressive. I still thought that he could have had more of a balanced game with being boxing Manny Pacquiao, using your length and your reach, but still being a little bit more aggressive. You know, the fact that that fight was a split decision, even after getting knocked down, that lets you know that, I mean, it was neck and neck. All Keith Thurman really had, and he mentioned this in an interview a while back. He said, I felt like I was a few punches away from winning that fight. You know, and I believe that he understands and he realizes like he really missed out on a big opportunity. You know, I think it was just a matter of aggression and you know, showing initiative in that fight that Keith Thurman lacked. You know what I'm saying? But that Keith Thurman watches Barrios, I would have to agree to that because he didn't look bad in that fight. You know what I'm saying? He didn't look terrible. He was just in there with a legend, an all-time great Manny Pacquiao. And when you show up and you fight a guy like Manny Pacquiao and you're not 100% on your shit, you're not focused, and you don't take advantage of those opportunities when they're there, you're going to lose. Because guys like Manny Pacquiao have been there before on every level, and they're not going to, like, you're going to have to be at your best to beat them. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get in there and slow gas it and think you're going to get a victory. Jay in the building, salute. What's good? Said Garcia out here fighting mechanics, and Kambosos running a 4-3 trying to get away from Haney. Yeah, man. Let's chop it up with that real quick. Let's chop it up about that, man. Like, what's up? Salute to the brother G5 Gabe in the building. What's good, man? Appreciate you for pulling up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go subscribe to my boy G5 Gabe as well. But what's up with George Kambosos, man? You know what? I hate that I even got on this channel and bigs him up after he beat Teofimo Lopez, because I really thought that he was going to be one of these guys that when they get the belt, you know, they want to get active immediately. They want to fight the best guys, especially when you're one title away from being undisputed. You know what I'm saying? But yet we're getting a runaround. It seemed like it's something that's contagious with those belts. Soon as guys get those belts, they start acting different. They start moving totally different. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I hate that I had got on here, man, and showed Kambosos love. Now, he still may very well go ahead and take that Devin Haney fight next. But the fact that he's, like, on this wishy-washy, you know, hopscotch shit, you feel me? I don't like that. I don't like that. You know? He out there talking about, you know, you got to look spectacular for me to fight you. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I mean? You gotta sell your jury in order for you to be able to make a offer for me to fight you and shit like that. Like, come on, Kambosos. Come on, Kambosos. You supposed to be a real champion. You talked all that shit about Teofimo Lopez, but then you get the belts and you move in the exact same way. You supposed to be a true champion. You see, Ryan Garcia, you know, he got some other shit going on. He shouldn't have even been in the mix anyway. Lomachenko, you know they ain't got the money to pay you what you really want. So if he take that Loma fight, that's a clear sign of ducking to me. That's a clear sign of ducking. You know, you're going to take less money and still go get your ass whooped. That's a clear sign of ducking. And, you know, I think it's an even bigger thing, something that's above George Kambosos on why they don't want to have Devin Haney in a position to get those belts and be undisputed. You know, it seemed like it's a lot of forces behind the scenes that's really trying to keep Devin Haney from achieving that level of success, so they can keep on going with this narrative. Oh, you ain't fought nobody. You know, oh, you don't deserve to get in there with the best. You know, remember I made a video a while back. Shout out to the brother Walter Lee in the building. What's good? Remember, I made a video a while back where I said the title of the video was "They Are Afraid of What Devin Haney Has the Potential to Be." You know what I'm saying? That's why you see it's so many moving parts and there's so many agendas to try to keep Devin Haney from being in that position, because they understand. Look at how this man came up. Look at all of the tutelage and the coaching and everything that's been around him since his amateur career. The dude is gamed up to the max, and he got the natural skills and ability to really take shit over. And it's gonna be hard if you let him get at that top level. It's gonna be hard to knock him off. They don't want to see another extremely skilled Black American fighter on that level that's, you know, hard to beat. You dig what I'm saying? And doing it with skill. He not necessarily knocking everybody out, but you know, it's a catch-22. You feel like, well, he ain't got no power, he ain't got this, but you put your fighter in there, he gonna make him look bad. Your fighter that's supposed to be this monster, this demon, this guy with all this power, you put him in there with Devin Haney, he gonna make him look regular. You know what I'm saying? He gonna make him look regular. He gonna make it look like all that natural ability that you got, it ain't about shit, because at the end of the day, it really come down to the skills. It's been an agenda the whole time that I've been noticing. That's why I made that video. This was like almost 2 years ago. Said they are afraid of what Devin Haney has the potential to be. And every time we get into a situation where he can possibly finally get over that hump and get the fight that we all want to see, that's going to let us know, you know, if Devin Haney really is what we say he is. It's always something that's happening. There's literally no reason why Kambosos and his team aren't, you know, going full head of steam trying to close the deal on that fight. It's literally no reason. Shout out to the brother James Allen Cooper in the building. What's good? Shout out to my brother Punch Perfect Boxing in the building. What's good with you, my boy? Appreciate you for pulling up. There's literally no reason why that fight isn't already signed, sealed, and delivered. It ain't no reason why we don't have no date on that fight. It's only one fight to make for Undisputed. It's one fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I thought Kambosos was different. Salute to the brother Christopher Russell in the building. What's good? Said that younger Russell brother is a bad man though. Yeah, no, for real. I like Gary Antoine Russell. He can fight. I'm hoping he gets an opportunity as well at 140. It's so many good fights for him at 140. You know, I would love to see him versus Montana Love. I think that's an incredible fight. Antoine Russell versus Montana Love, incredible fight. Either one of them versus Regis, incredible fight. You know what I'm saying? After Josh Taylor get done with his mandatory, him versus any of those guys, if he don't plan on moving up to 147 immediately, incredible matchup. You know, I think 140 is definitely becoming one of the most hot divisions in the sport of boxing, you know, very quickly. It's a lot of heat. And then keep in mind, you know, you got Telefimo just moved up there. You got Devin Haney that'll be up there real soon. Hopefully, you know, we can go ahead and get this Kambosos and Devin Haney fight and see what's what. You know. Hopefully we'll be able to go ahead and get this fight so we can really see like what it is. And this the crazy thing about, you know, Devin Haney and him not getting these matchups. I'm glad that, shout out to Jojo Diaz. You know, Jojo Diaz was a real one. The people called him out on Twitter, you know what I'm saying, when it looked like he was going to fight Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia, you know, he had the injury and all that shit, but he was probably going to duck anyway. You know, but Jojo Diaz, he was trying to get at Ryan Garcia, but the fans, they called him out on Twitter. They was like, hey, you know, we want to see you fight Devin Haney. And JoJo Diaz, he said, fuck it. You know, the fans want this. And he tweeted, he said, look, I bet. Since they asking for this, I'm going to give it to them. And what happened? We got the fight. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Like that. That's a real one. I respect JoJo Diaz for that. For moving like that. You know what I mean? And he had shit to lose. And he still, you know, he still went in there with Devin Haney, put up a good fight. You know, and we was able to see what it was. So anybody like me, I think Devin Haney is really, you know, one of the top young skill fighters in the sport. But it don't really matter what I think if we not gonna actually get a chance to see. I could be wrong. You know, he could turn out to not be as good as I think he is, but I want to see. But the fact that these guys still strategically maneuvering around him, that's kind of reinforcing the thought that I already have that this dude must really be that damn good. Because I can't think of no other reason why they don't want to fight him. Salute to the brother Montavia Berry in the building. What's good? Shout out to the brother Tex Rock in the building. What's happening, man? What's good? Said the one thing that Dev is not blessed with, he actually don't need to dominate the fight, and that's power. Big facts. Big facts. That's the ironic thing about this all. You know, everybody talks about his lack of power, and the crazy part about it is in this sport that we call boxing, man, it's really about the skills. And we've seen him display that time after time after time again. And what's even crazier is that his adversaries know that. The competition knows that. And that's why they're not trying to get in the ring with him. You know, the same reason why, Canelo Alvarez says that Demetrius Andrade is a horrible fighter, but he don't want to get in the ring with him. You know, it's an element of skills that you're going to have to deal with. I think a fighter would much rather get in there with somebody with excruciating power than to get in there with somebody that's going to make you look like a fool. You know, it just depends on who the fighter is and their style, you know, but a lot of these guys, especially the ones that got all this knockout power and shit, they don't want to get in there with somebody, not all of them, but, you know, I felt like Telefimo, he was on that wave, you know. Kambosos seeming like he on that same shit. They don't want to get in there with somebody that's going to make their power seem small. They don't want to get in there with somebody that's going to take that monster image away from them. Because you get in there and then after the fight, they be like, okay, well, why you didn't knock him out? You know, why you couldn't knock out Devin Haney? You couldn't even hit him. You couldn't even land nothing clean on him. You know what I'm saying? Why you didn't do that to Devin Haney? They don't want that. And their handlers don't want that either, because that's how they selling these fighters. They selling these guys as these knockout artists and shit. That's why they don't want to put them in a ring with extremely skillful guys. And that's sad, because I thought this shit was about, you know, the best fighting the best and us seeing like who the most skilled. That's what I thought this shit was about. Said they don't want to fight a guy that would outpoint and embarrass them as opposed to just get knocked out. Big facts. Get knocked out is an excuse. He landed a good shot. Big facts. That's exactly how I see it, Tex Rock. That's exactly how I see it, bro. You know, you get in there, you get knocked out in the first round, and you like, oh, he landed a good shot. You know what I'm saying? He just landed a good shot. I didn't get a chance to showcase my skills. You know, they gonna call it luck, all type of shit like that. But when you get in there, you go 12 with somebody, and you in the fight the whole time, and you can't do shit with the man. You know, he's beating you mentally, skillfully. He's dominating you in areas that you can't do shit about. You know, and it's embarrassing to some of these guys. Now, I mean, real competitors, they gonna look at that as an opportunity to get better. You know what I'm saying? They gonna look at it as an opportunity like, damn, okay, I got some shit that I need to sharpen up on. This brother, he was sharp. You know, his timing was amazing. You know, his punch placement was sharp. It was crisp. But Some of these guys lack that real competitiveness that you need, that I feel that you need to be on this level. You know what I'm saying? And stay at the top. You know, guys like Kambosos, no disrespect to him. I ain't got nothing personal against George Kambosos, but guys like that, they don't last long at the top because they got this, you know, I feel like, he don't believe that he can hold on to those belts. And his team don't believe they can hold on to those belts. They don't last long at the top. You know, I think they believe that they got up, they got over on Teofimo Lopez. I think they believe that they skated by, by the skin of their teeth in that Teofimo Lopez fight. And they don't believe they can do it again. That's why they're trying to cash out, you know what I'm saying? Because Kambosos, he's not an old guy, relatively young. First time being a world champion. And it's crazy how you accomplish that, because now you're a unified world champion in your first title fight, as a mandatory as well. So it's a lot of new things that George Kambosos is experiencing right now, and he don't want to let that shit go. He walking around calling himself the emperor. He trying to enjoy his 15 minutes of fame. It's the same shit that Teofimo Lopez was doing. It's the exact same thing. Remember, after Lopez beat Lomachenko, all they was talking about, him and his daddy, all they was talking about is how we beat Loma. I mean, it was 2 years later. That's all they talking about, how we beat Loma. He walking around, he get on stage with Canelo holding all his belts up and shit. Canelo, he really undisputed. You dig what I'm saying? But they get on stage, let me stand next to Canelo with all my belts. That's what this shit about. It's all about them trying to live out this 15 minutes of fame because he know it ain't gonna last. That's exactly what Kambosos is doing right now. That's exactly what he doing. He's showing up at NBA games, calling himself the emperor. Talking about we got 70,000 in Australia and you pull up. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. He don't believe that he really on this level. He don't really believe that he belong here. So he's trying to milk it as much as he can. If I can get in there with Tank and make X amount of dollars, I get knocked out, but at least I made this bread. If I can get in there with Loma and get stopped, hopefully Top Rank can cut me a check. But the harsh reality is you're going to get paid more from DAZN fighting Devin Haney, and you still going to get your ass whooped. But you going to get more money. And you could turn around, you could fuck around and beat Devin Haney. I just think you're going to lose. You know what I'm saying? But shit, prove me wrong. But he don't want that. He don't want that because he know he probably got a better chance with one of these guys that's going to come in there trying to knock his head off top, as opposed to somebody like Devin Haney, which is a puzzle you got to solve. And keep in mind, I think that stylistically, this is the worst matchup for Kambosos, is Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? Because he going to have to fight outside of his element. He not going to be able to just sit back and let Haney come forward like he's some mindless, aggressive fighter, and so he can sit back and counterpunch him like how he did with Teofimo Lopez. Devin Haney gonna be the one that's controlling the pace of the fight, that's counterpunching and having Kambosos come forward, and get picked off and shit like that. But he ain't gonna have no choice. He gonna have to take chances to get on the inside, and he know that. And I don't think Kambosos is I don't think much of him when it comes to him being like a pressure fighter. I saw him versus Mickey Bay. He didn't look great to me. I thought Mickey Bay boxed him. Boxed his ears off. Salute to the brother Devin Blocker in the building. What's good? Dave's Case all day in the building. What's good with you? Said Kambosos is just trying to get the biggest payday, and he knows Haney cooks him and Loma cooks him as well. Facts. I got Kambosos losing to Loma and Haney. The crazy thing about it, though, is he's going to get paid more fighting Devin Haney. Think about this. We know, look, Bob Arum didn't even want to pay for Kambosos and Teofimo Lopez. Remember that. That fight initially went to purse bid and ended up on Triller. Why did it get to that point? Keep in mind, this is a mandatory. Why did Kambosos and Teofimo Lopez even get to that point of going to a purse bid? Because Bob Arum did not want to pay for that fight. He wasn't trying to like throw no bag at neither one of them for that fight. So why you think he finna throw a bag at you for you to fight Lomachenko? Why? That shit right there is a clear sign of avoidance. It's a clear sign that you don't want nothing to do with Devin Haney. I don't understand. Johnny True Blue, Stanley in the building. Salute to you, my brother. Appreciate you for pulling up. What's good? Said T.O. avoided a rematch with Loma like Kambosos is avoiding him. Big facts. Because they knew. I had Loma beating Teofimo in a rematch. And look, again, this don't got nothing to... I don't have nothing against Lomachenko either. You know, I think he's a great fighter. But he had his opportunity already. You know what I'm saying? NJ Fury in the building. Salute to you, my brother. Appreciate you for pulling up, man. 100. You know what I'm saying? Love your viz, bro. Best boxing channel. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate your support. You know what I'm saying? I don't have nothing against Lomachenko. But he had his opportunity already. Lomachenko done already... Look, Lomachenko came out the gate getting opportunities that other people don't get. Because he was such a world-renowned amateur. He came in the game getting title shot opportunities in his second and third fight and shit like that. Then you get in there and you get your ass whooped by Orlando Salido, a guy who currently has like 20 losses. Orlando Salido currently has like, 20 losses? Been stopped like 10 times? Yeah, that's who Lomachenko lost to. Then you get in there with this youngster, Teofimo Lopez, and you get beat. Whether you had an injury or not, you signed up for the fight. The same shit I said about Gary Russell Jr. You had an injury, you still went in there and you fought and you lost. You know what I'm saying? Now, I actually think Gary Russell Jr. and Maxeo, I thought that shit was a draw. But that's a whole nother story. With Lomachenko, you had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. It's time to see some new blood. You know what I'm saying? I think that's actually a decent fight. Loma versus Kambosos. That's not a bad fight. But I don't want to see that shit over Devin Haney versus Kambosos. Everybody always saying Devin Haney ain't fought nobody. He ain't did this. You ain't did that. But let's see. Give him an opportunity. Let's see. Either he gonna sink or swim. That's the only way we gonna find out if you actually get him in the ring, and let's see what's up. I already seen Loma on this level. Now I'm ready to see Devin Haney on this level now. He done put in all the work. He's the only other champion in the division. We want to see Undisputed. Dion Kennedy in the building. Salute. What's good? Said Kambosos is fighting Loma. Unfortunately, they were using Haney's name for clout. I hope that's not the case. I mean, it's very likely. I would not be surprised at all, but I'm still hoping that, you know, something happens to where they can make that fight happen with Haney and Kambosos. And shout out to Jake Paul as well, you know. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul even had to come out and say, man, what's up? What's up? We need to make that fight. You know. But, you know, I feel like Lou DiBella on some snake shit. You know what I'm saying? He on some little sneaky snake shit. But then again, I don't get it, though. I still don't get it. Do any of y'all believe that Kambosos can beat Lomachenko? Do anybody in here believe that Kambosos can beat Lomachenko? I don't think he can beat him. And I don't know what Lou DiBella and them see in that matchup that makes them think that Kambosos can beat Loma. I think he gets stopped by Loma. I think Kambosos gets stopped by Lomachenko. So I'm I'm really trying to understand, like, what is this fascination about this matchup with them? Salute to Sheldon Moore in the building. What's good? What is this fascination for this matchup? I don't get it. You get in there with Loma, you're gonna get your ass whooped. You're gonna lose to Devin Haney too, I believe. But wouldn't you rather fight the guy that's undefeated? You know, the guy with the most upside, Devin Haney, with the pedigree of Devin Haney, you know, with a thriving and rising fan base and support system that Devin Haney has and is building, who is the only other champion in your division that can deem you the title of undisputed champion, the first and only undisputed lightweight champion in history. I'm not really seeing the benefits of getting in there with Lomachenko over Devin Haney, outside of the fact that Lomachenko is a more established fighter. Whoop-de-doo. That ain't gonna get you shit but an ass whooping. That's it. Okay, you get in there, you get whooped by Loma. Now you got an L by Loma on your box rec. What does that do for you? And you lose your belts, and you risk it more than you can actually get in return. What does that do for you? That's what I'm trying to understand. I'm having a hard time understanding this shit. I don't get it. Joe Hewitt in the building. Salute. What's good? Said, don't think he beats any top 135. T.O. was his one and done. I believe that, man. I don't think Kambosos can fuck with Tank, Devin Haney, Lomachenko, and if Shakur moved up to 135, he getting stepped on by Shakur as well. Jay Wash 4 in the building. What's good? Said, yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think Telefimo will beat him in a rematch. I think Telefimo will stop him in a rematch. You know, but it's just crazy how these guys, man, they get these belts and now they want to have their 15 minutes of fame. You know what I'm saying? They want to have their 15 minutes of fame and, you know, sell they owe and sell those belts to the highest bidder. You know, but again, you're going to get the most money fighting Devin Haney. I'm really at a loss. You know, that's why I like having having this platform to be able to get on here and chop it up with y'all about shit like this. Cause sometimes, like, it's a lot of shit in boxing that be making me scratch my head, bro. Like what the fuck going on? Like, this shit not even making no sense. I be having to talk to somebody about this shit. Like, what's really going on? Cause I'm really confused. I'm like, what's really going on? I really don't understand it at all. You know. But we got Keith Thurman tonight. You know, Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios is going down. This is another head scratcher as far as matchups. But, you know, I understand Keith Thurman coming back, taking a light touch. He been out the game for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, he looked real good at the weigh-in yesterday. Mario Barrios looked like he filled in at 147 real good. You know what I'm saying? If you look at his frame, he looks like a natural 147 pounder. You know, now I know he had power at 135 and at 140. I don't really know how that's going to translate at 147. And I mean, yes, he did get stopped by Tank Davis in his last fight, but I thought he put up a really good showing of himself in that matchup up until the stoppage. You know what I'm saying? He did a good job of using the jab and keeping Tank Davis at bay and kind of, you know, just establishing range and distance and boxing for the most part until Tank Davis really, like, he took that jab away and started cutting that distance down and going to the body and to the head. You know what I mean? And eventually got a knockout. But again, the stoppage came late in the fight. You know, early on, it seemed like he was able to take some decent shots from Tank. You know, so I wonder if his punch resistance is gonna be better with more weight on him, and not having to cut down. He mentioned that he struggled to make the weight, so I'm not just interested in what Keith Thurman brings to the table. I must admit that I do kind of want to see if this weight division for Mario Barrios is something that's gonna be good for him. Salute to the brother Dion Kennedy in that super chat coming through and showing love. He said, "Do you think Spence would drop the belt if he has to fight Thurman?" You mean like if they made Thurman like a mandatory or something? I couldn't see that. I couldn't see that just because I know Errol Spence wants to be undisputed. So I really couldn't see him doing that. That'll kind of negate a lot of the hard work that he put in to get to this point. So I really couldn't see him doing that. But this boxing, man, and I wouldn't be surprised for anything, to be honest with you. But I really couldn't see him doing that though. And hopefully that shit don't even happen. Hopefully Keith Thurman is nowhere near in position to be trying to fight Errol Spence after that. I want to see Errol Spence go straight after Terrence Crawford. I don't want to see Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, I think even if he go in there and he blow Mario Barrios out the water, I still think he gonna have some work to do. Master Joker in the building. Salute to you, my brother. What's good? Said negative. Nope. He tried to punish Keith. Yeah, big facts. If it came down to Keith Thurman being a mandatory for Errol Spence, he gonna get in there and he gonna beat the fuck out Keith Thurman. Just to be real with you. Said, now here, just beat the piss out. Yeah, big facts. But Mario Barrios, I'm not gonna say that he has no chance versus Keith Thurman. I think he possessed, decent enough boxing ability to be competitive. And we see that he has physical advantages over Keith Thurman. However, he is getting in there with a full-fledged career welterweight in Keith Thurman. Now, going back to Mario Barrios versus Tank Davis. Tank Davis is a guy coming up from 130. You know what I'm saying? This guy is a 130 pounder, and he stopped Mario Barrios, who came into that fight a full-fledged welterweight. Let's not get it fucked up. He did have to suck down to 140, but he still, and from 40 to 47, that's a pretty decent jump. Just like 60 to 68, big jump. I talked about that in the Jamal Charlo and Canelo video. But, he did get stopped by Tank Davis. So I really don't know how he gonna take Keith Thurman power. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is a full-fledged career welterweight. Keith Thurman ain't fought at no division his whole career but 147. He lives here. And when he came into the weigh-in looking the best I ever seen him. So it could be a situation where, Mario Barrios, he get in there and get brutally beat down. That's possible. Salute to my brother, the Soulmates in the building. What's good? You know what I'm saying? JY say Thurman has to stop him or it's a L. You know what? I ain't mad at that perspective. Because when you in there with a guy that is coming up in weight who just got stopped in his last fight versus a guy that's 3 divisions below your division. Think about that. Keith Thurman is fighting a guy who's coming off a TKO loss to a guy that's 3 divisions below his current division. I think the goal should be to stop Mario Barrios. I do want to see Keith Thurman show. I want this fight to go rounds. I want this fight to go at least 8. Hopefully, 8 to 10. I want to see rounds. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what Keith Thurman really got left. I want to see him put some things together. I don't want to see a first, if it is a first round knockout or something like that, hey, that's awesome. But I would love to see this fight go round. Shout out to my brother D Luckett in the building, man. Appreciate you for pulling up. Black Boxing Kings in the building. What's good? Said Keith's 145. He's going to be floating and then knock out Mario later than Tank. He's Thurman, like Thurman mentioned himself. Okay. Okay, I wouldn't be mad at that. You know what I'm saying? I would actually prefer that, for Thurman to come out box, be on his toes, show me some lateral movement, show the jab. I think Keith Thurman could do better at using the jab and being consistent with it. Show me some of that, and then around, between 7 and 10, then hit us with the stoppage. In my opinion, that would be like a complete performance, something that I would need to see from Keith Thurman to believe that he's anything of his older self. Now, again, doing that versus Mario Barrios, it doesn't really prove a whole lot, but I'm not looking at it from the perspective of who he's fighting. I'm looking at the small things, I'm looking at his timing, his sharpness. Is the power still there? Is the aggressiveness there when he does get somebody hurt? We haven't really seen Keith go into that kill mode in a long time. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen Keith go into that mode where, oh damn, I got a guy hurt. Now it's time to go finishing. I would love to see that, and I want to see if he can get the job done. You know what I'm saying? And I think with Mario Barrios losing and being stopped by Tank Davis, that's even more motivation for Keith to go in there and say, look, I got to stop this dude. Like, there's no way he should go 12 with me. There's no way he should go 12 with me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to see what Keith Thurman looked like. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited to see. My brother Master Joker said, hit that like button, man. Y'all hit that like button if you haven't already hit that like button. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And subscribe for sure if you haven't subscribed. Big fact. Shout out to my brother Jay Einstein in the building. What's good? Said you buying this pay-per-view way too expensive, in my opinion. I'm going to be completely honest with you, brother. And y'all know, here on this channel, man, I'm pro fighter. I'm pro boxing and I'm pro fighter. And I want to see these guys get everything that they deserve and shit like that. You feel me? But I'm not purchasing this fight. I'm gonna be real with you. I just can't bring myself to do it. Simply because you have two guys who are coming off a loss. Number one, like the brother Jay Einstein just said, it's too expensive for what we get. Now, this shit could turn out to be a great fight, but it's beyond that in my opinion. You have two guys that are coming off of a loss. Now, in all of my days of watching boxing and purchasing pay-per-views, I've never once purchased a pay-per-view where both guys came off a loss. I've never done that, and I'm not going to start today. I've never done that. I've never purchased a pay-per-view where both fighters literally lost their last fight. Never done that. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. And then also, again, it's Keith Thurman. You're fighting Mario Barrios. This shit should be like on Showbox. If you have a subscription on Showtime, you should be able to watch this shit free. Also, it's Fox. There is being it's gonna be on the network of Fox. This should be on free TV. There's literally no reason why this should be a pay-per-view fight. And then the audacity to make this shit $80. You out your damn mind. If you gonna put this shit on pay-per-view, it shouldn't be no more than $4.99. And that's crazy. Shout out to the brother D Luckett in the super chat coming through and showing love. You know what I'm saying? I said $4.99 as soon as that shit popped up. That's what it should be. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the brother D Luck. He said the best shape I've ever seen Thurman in. I think he's back. When you train hard, it comes with benefits. That's big facts. That's big facts. When you train hard like that, it definitely gives you some leeway and some like it adds so much to your game. Now you can focus on actually going in the ring and implementing all the shit that you worked on, as opposed to, damn, if I throw this combination, I'm gonna be tired the next round. Or if I let this many jabs off in the first 6 rounds, I'm not gonna be able to finish strong late in the fight. When you take care of that shit beforehand, you get to the fight, everything in your playbook is available to you. It definitely comes with benefits. You know what I'm saying? But, going back to the whole pay-per-view thing, man, look, this fight, if you're gonna put a fight like this on pay-per-view, the price needs to reflect the quality of the matchup. It needs to reflect that. $4.99. You know what I'm saying? I would happily pay $5 for that pay-per-view. You dig what I'm saying? Now think about it. You make this shit $4.99, you probably gonna fuck around and you can probably get 500,000 pay-per-view buys. You might get 500. You make that shit $4.99. Everybody at all the bars, they gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying? And then people that's just chilling at the crib, they gonna buy it. But I mean, think about it. $4.99. That's what this shit worth. Because it really supposed to be free. But if you're gonna put it on pay-per-view, $4.99. That's what it need to cost. This matchup right here. They out there damn mind. They tripping. Said I always pay for pay-per-views and don't stream. But they really tripping with this one. I'll watch the highlights. Big facts. I always, I love to support these, especially the brothers. You know what I'm saying? Especially, Black American fighters that really got it out the mud, that's really out here grinding and doing their thing, man, and, reaching for new heights and shit like that. I love supporting these brothers and, making sure that they pay-per-view numbers look good, you know what I'm saying, and they get what they deserve. But when you doing stuff like this, nah, you tripping now. You feel me? Nah, it gotta make sense at the end of the day. You can't tell me you gonna take Keith Thurman, who I ain't seen in 2 years, and the last time I seen him, I ain't gonna say he got his ass whooped, but he lost to Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao put him on the canvas. And then you gonna match him up with a guy that just got knocked out by a dude that's 2 divisions lower than him. Nah, you can't do that. You can't do that. The brother Joe Hewitt said, I could see $49.99. You know what? Even though, in my opinion, for this particular matchup, that's still kind of steep. But that's a lot more reasonable than the $80. You know what I'm saying? A lot more reasonable. And speaking of $49.99, I don't even want to admit this, man. I bought I bought just because it was a spectacle, you know what I'm saying? And I had a little vibe going on. I bought the Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul fight for $49.99. And I felt robbed. Bro. I felt like I got robbed. I felt like Floyd physically reached in my pockets. You know what I'm saying? So I've been like thinking about shit differently now. I ain't really never felt like that buying, and I know that's not even like no real boxing match, but you know what I'm saying? I felt like Floyd physically reached in my pockets and took my money out. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm really looking at this shit different. I'm like, nah, this shit gotta make sense. This shit gotta make sense now. You feel me? Like I had to hit my boy up. I'm like, no, bruh. Hell no. I feel like Floyd robbed me. You know what I'm saying? So he said this fight should have been on Spike TV. Facts. Shout out to the brother Swift 46 in the building. What's good? Exactly. This shit should be on Spike TV. They could have put this shit on BET. You feel me? But I will say this though. I'm interested. I'm genuinely interested in the fight just because, the different we got Keith Thurman coming back. So I want to see what that looks like. And I think that's probably what they were banking off of when they set this matchup up. When they was in the office room, and they had the bulletin board and all that shit up, and they like, look, all right, so we're gonna do this pay-per-view. It's Keith Thurman's return. I think that's what they was banking on. They like, okay, shit, everybody want to see Keith Thurman. We ain't seen him in 2 years. Give a fuck if he coming off a loss, and give a fuck if we put him in there that's in there with somebody who's also coming off a loss. We got Keith Thurman coming back. Oh yeah, everybody want to see that. I think that's what they was banking off of, and I genuinely do want to see Keith Thurman come back. I'm ready to see what he looked like, but It ain't $80 worth. Said 40 and I would have been in. Yeah, you know what? I probably would have fucked with it for the 40. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going to Harry Hines, I'd have held on to my little 40 and said I'm gonna go to Harry Hines another night and I'm gonna go ahead and buy that Keith Thurman fight. You know what I'm saying? I'd have held on to my 40 and I would have said, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. But you insulted my intelligence when you say, nah, you gonna pay 80 for this. Nah. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We ain't doing it. We ain't doing it, man. And I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm really still trying to see how I'm going to get used to seeing Keith with this haircut, too. You know what I mean? Like, I've been imagining him in the ring, like, throwing combinations and shit with this damn, with that George Jefferson shit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if he gone, man, look, I knew when to let my shit go. I'm like, bruh, you know what I mean? I let my shit go before motherfuckers even knew my shit was, you know what I mean? I started to have, I had the brun. You know what I'm saying? I could tell my shit was getting thin on the top. My shit was looking like brun. It didn't get the brun level yet, but I'm like, I'm noticing the shit before anybody else noticing. I'm like, nah, let me go ahead and cut my shit off. I'm going to go gracefully. You dig what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and cut my shit off because I ain't even trying to go down that route. You feel me? So I went gracefully. When I cut my shit, everybody was like, damn, what the fuck? Damn, bro, just cut his shit like that. You know what I'm saying, bro? You had the wave. Everybody was surprised. I'm like, nah, you didn't see what I see. I went gracefully. But I don't understand, like, how people be trying to hold on to shit. Like, why Keith Thurman holding on to that shit? Man, cut that shit off. If Keith Thurman if he shaved his shit off, he gonna look 10 years younger. If Keith Thurman shaved his shit off right now, he gonna look 10 years younger. That's crazy. That man out there looking old and shit. When I seen him at the weigh-in, I'm like, bruh, body don't match what he looked like. You feel me? He got the body of a young man. But from the neck up, from the forehead up, bruh look like he about 45. I'm like, God damn. Shout out to my brother Money Brown TV in the building, man. Appreciate you for pulling up, my brother. What's good? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the brother Money Brown TV. 100, man. But yeah, I'm like, see, you gotta go gracefully, dog. I don't know why Keith Thurman holding on to this. If I had a chance, like if I could, let's say I just seen him in passing or something, and then I saw a video on Instagram where they asked him they asked like, why you cut your hair? And this man came up with this bullshit. He came up with a wild ass story talking about, you know, I cut my hair because I lost. You know what I'm saying? He compared himself to Samson from the Bible. He was like, look, I felt like I was Samson. You know what I'm saying? I had my hair and I still lost. So I guess I got to turn the page and go. He had this whole story like, bro, just keep it real. You cut your shit because, you know, you started balding at the top. And, you know, motherfucker don't want to have that, rest in peace to Kimbo Slice, you know, or you don't want to have that Stevie Wonder where you got long ass hair, but your shit like bald and shit. You feel me? Like, how you gonna have long ass hair, but your shit is pulling your shit back? So that's really why he cut his shit. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't want to say that. But he thinking that, all right, if I just keep my shit low, I'll be straight. And put a S curl on there with the pink oil moisturizer, I'm gonna be good, but it ain't gonna cut it, bro. It ain't gonna cut it. You gotta go on and cut that shit off. I'm telling you, if Keith Thurman shave his head tonight, he get in the ring, he gonna look 10 years younger. You know what I'm saying? He gonna look 10 years younger. That man came up with a whole story on why he cut his hair out. Man, come on, dog. The comments was funny as hell too. They like, bro, come on now. Keith, we know why you cut your hair, bro. You know what I'm saying? We grown men now. We done been through this shit. Some of us done been through this shit. We know why you cut that shit off. Because you didn't want to walk around with your braids back here. Imagine if Keith still had his braids. You know, because normally he had a ponytail, but when it's fight time, he get his shit braided up, right? Imagine if he still had his braids, bro. His shit would have been back here, dog. Bro, Keith's shit would have been back here, braided the fuck up. Hey, hell no, bro. He tweaking. Keith Thurman tweaking, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading the comments. I'm like, I agree with y'all. I'm like, man, what the hell? Come on, bro. We know why you cut your shit. That man tripping. He said he would have been like Stevie Wonder for real. You know, Stevie Wonder, hey, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, he can't see his shit. You feel me? So Stevie like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let my shit rock. You know, it's good. It feel good to me. You know, he can't look in the mirror and see his shit back there like that, so he ain't even tripping. But Keith Thurman ain't got no excuse. You can see your shit. You feel me? So, nah, that ain't. You can't be walking around here like that, bro. And said Keith got that drop top. Hey, hell no. Bruh, y'all crazy as hell, man. But that's one thing I'm also interested to see. I'm like, man, can I get used to Keith in there looking like that, man? Can I get used to Keith in there throwing, crazy ass combinations, man, in there he looking like Oscar De La Hoya and shit. You know? He looking like the old Oscar. He look like Oscar right now. You know what I'm saying? Said hairline identified as a moon roof. Oh, man. But yeah, bruh. We gonna see what happens, man. But look, I just want to chop it up with y'all, man. Get on here, man, before the fight come on. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let y'all get back to y'all Saturday. Enjoy y'all self. And look, depending on how the fight go, if it's actually exciting and it's something that that's worth talking about, you know what I'm saying, or worthy of reviewing live or post fight, I'm gonna hop back on here, man, and chop it up with y'all, man, and see what y'all thought about the fight. But hopefully it's good. I'm hoping that Keith Thurman is back. He's still a young guy. He not old, bro. He younger than Terrence Crawford. So ain't no, you know what I mean? He still got prime abilities. We just gonna have to see if that fire and desire is there, if that hunger is there. You know what I'm saying? If he still got that dog in him. That's gonna be key. So I'll holler at y'all boys, man. Y'all have a great weekend, great Saturday. You know what I'm saying? I'll check back in with y'all. Contender Regime Boxing. I'll holler at y'all, man.